Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rome Community Theater radio channel. Tonight's play is presented to you with the cooperation of Paul Rapp, son of the genius creator of the Bickersons, Philip Rapp. And now, here are Mark and Janet Hanna as the Bickersons. The Bickersons have retired. Mrs. Bickerson rises in sympathetic anguish at 2 o'clock in the morning as poor husband John, victim of contagious insomnia or Schmo's disease, broadcasts the telltale symptoms during a crucial stage of the dreaded ailment. Let's listen.
It doesn't sound human. He's got it worked out in a regular pattern. Now he'll get amused. Oh no! John! Why aren't you laughing? John, wake up! You should be giggling, and you're crying.
Huh?
What's the matter with you?
Huh? What's the matter, Blanche?
You're not snoring like you usually do.
What?
I was just getting used to your whining and giggling, but now you're crying, and it throws me all off.
What are you talking about?
You've got to stop it, John. I've never been so sick in all my life, and you won't let me get a minute's sleep. I don't feel well.
What hurts you, Blanche?
Everything hurts me. Call Dr. Marvin.
You don't need Dr. Marvin. I'll take care of you. Tell me where it hurts.
It's those clams we had tonight. I didn't want to eat them, but you kept insisting. You kept telling me clams are healthy.
Well, clams are healthy.
They are not.
They are too. Did you ever hear one complain? I ate more than you did, and I feel perfectly horrible. I mean, fine. Where does it hurt you?
I think I'm poisoned. My whole body aches, and I've got a terrible shooting pain between my shoulder blades.
Well, lie still, and I'll fry you up some cucumbers and hot root beer.
Fried cucumbers and root beer?
Make a new man of you.
You just want to finish me off, that's all.
Oh, Blanche, I'm only going to make a poultice out of it. It draws out the pain. It's a new medical discovery.
Well, what's the matter with an old-fashioned mustard plaster?
Okay, I'll fix you an old-fashioned mustard plaster. Where's the bourbon?
Bourbon? What's that for?
To soak the mustard plaster.
John Bickerson.
Don't worry. I'll scrape the mustard off first. Where's the bottle?
I'm not going to stick any bourbon-soaked plaster on my back.
You don't stick it on your back. You hold it over your mouth and squeeze it. Put on the lights.
I will not. I don't want you to touch me.
I'll bet you're not sick at all. You just thought this pain up to keep me awake. Why don't you leave me alone?
I can just hear you saying that to Gloria Gooseby.
Now, why should I say that to Gloria Gooseby?
Why, indeed? If you were married to Gloria Gooseby, she wouldn't stand for any of your nonsense.
I'm not married to her, and she stands for a lot more of my nonsense than you do.
What?
Oh, what do I care what she stands for? I despise Gloria Gooseby, and you know it.
Then why does she keep staring at you like she's hypnotized?
She doesn't stare. It's just that she wears those outlandish dresses, and they bring out her eyes.
Huh. They bring out yours, too.
Now look, Blanche. Let's make a pact never to mention that woman's name again as long as we live.
Well, I keep thinking there's something between you.
I swear, I don't know she's alive.
She doesn't mean more to you than I do?
She means even less to me than you do.
I don't like the way that sounded.
Well, don't go looking for hidden meanings. Now, if you're really sick, I'll do anything you want to make you feel better. If you feel okay, all I ask is that you let me have a few hours of sleep.
I did have a little headache before, but now I've lost it.
It isn't lost. I've got it. Every morning when I go to work, I'm bleary-eyed, and I stumble around the office in a stupor. I don't know how much longer my boss is going to stand for it.
Why do you stumble around, John?
Well, because I don't get enough sleep. I'm completely debilitated. Only last week I failed to pass the insurance examination.
Was it the same examination you had before?
Well, certainly.
Well, then why didn't you copy the answers off the old policy?
It's not answers they want. They give you a medical checkup. And apparently I'm not such an ideal physical specimen.
Well, I think you're wonderful. You've got the nicest legs of any man I've ever seen.
I don't think I'm long for this world.
Am I responsible for it, John?
No.
I am too. I know I am. John, can I talk to you?
Sure. Go ahead and talk.
Well, I've been thinking about how we quarrel all the time, and I'm sure we love each other as much as any other married couple. And I know they must have their little arguments, and maybe more than... John? John!
Huh? What?
You said I could talk to you.
Well, am I stopping you?
I want you to listen.
Okay.
I didn't know your health was bad,
Oh.
and I'm worried. If anything happens to you, I'd blame myself for not taking the proper precautions. You know what I think?
What do you think, Blanche?
I think you ought to make out a will.
Make out a will? I thought you were worried about me.
Well, you don't want to leave me at the mercy of all those grasping relatives of yours, do you? The minute you drop dead...
Talk like that. Can't you say passed on or something like that?
Well, you always say drop dead.
That's only when I'm talking to your brother Amos. You should be a little more delicate when you're discussing wills.
Why?
Well, because you make it sound like I'm going to drop dead any minute.
Well, I don't give you a 2-week notice, you know. You just told me you couldn't get any more insurance.
Oh, I can get all the insurance I want.
I don't care. You should make out a will just the same.
Okay, I'll make it out tomorrow.
You say it, but you won't do it. Get up and do it now.
What?
Go on, get up and make out a will.
Why, you're out of your mind. In the first place, a will isn't legal unless you have 2 witnesses. And in the second place, I haven't got anything to leave in the first place. Unless you're thinking of that phony stock your thieving brother sold me.
What phony stock?
Those 500 shares of Kentucky Saltpeter. They're not worth the paper they're written on. Nobody's going to take anything, and I don't need a will.
Oh, you're the most stubborn man that ever lived, John.
Why? Why am I stubborn?
It's the hardest thing in the world to make you admit I'm right when you know I'm wrong.
There's a woman's logic for you. Suppose I do make out a will, and nobody can touch anything except you. Okay, now you've got all my worldly goods. Next thing you know, you get over your grief and marry a guy without a dollar to his name. Like that broken-down snore specialist, Dr. Marvin.
Oh, I'm not going to marry anybody.
He'll give up his practice and take you for every penny. My hard-earned money. The little possessions I slaved for. He'll drive my brand new car, drink my bourbon, loaf around like a prince.
John.
Why don't you make the bum get a job, Blanche?
For heaven's sake, John, what's got into you?
Well, why did you start all this talk about wills?
Well, I'll tell you. Amos just got a job as a notary republic.
Ah, here we go. Amos.
And he gets $2 for every seal he puts on a will.
Yeah, I knew he was at the bottom of all this. That chiseling, grasping...
There's nothing wrong with my brother Amos.
No?
You're just jealous because he thinks up ways to make a living without working.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is a little brains.
Nobody's got littler brains than Amos. He's the cause of 90% of our fights.
Oh, go to sleep.
Ha! Go to sleep, she tells me. Practically coax me into a funeral. Get your brother to seal my will. Keep me up half the night with Gloria Gooseby and clams. Now you tell me to go to sleep? I can't sleep. Never sleep another wink as long as... Hello? The phone's dead. It's leaking.
Put down that bottle of bourbon. I'll get the phone. I wonder who's calling it. Ow! My leg! Put the lights on.
The lights are on. Take off my sleep shades.
Oh. Hello?
Blanche, Blanche, this is Amos.
What do you want, Amos?
Hey, did you talk him into it?
No, and I'm not going to try anymore.
What are you talking about? Everybody's got to have a will. I drew mine up today. I left everything I have in the world to Jacko.
John!
Huh?
Amos said he drew up his will today and he left everything he has in the world to you.
Tell him I don't want her.
Amos, John says he's very pleased.
Fine. And you know, one good turn deserves another.
Sure, I'll talk to him tomorrow.
It's very important to have a will, Blanche. There's a big case going on right now. All the relatives are fighting over the dough because the rich old lady didn't file a will.
Really?
Yes. She had $100,000 in cash and hid it in the bustle of her wedding dress. Hey, tell Jacko.
John?
Yeah.
An old lady died and they found $100,000 in her bustle.
That's a lot of money to leave behind.
He says that's a lot.
Never mind, I heard him. I'll bring the notary seal around tomorrow, Blanche.
You better wait until I call you. Good night, Amos. Oh, dear. John. John!
Huh?
I've got that shooting pain between my shoulder blades again.
Oh. Well, let's have a look.
Right here. It must be arthritis or neuralgia. It hits me like a knife. What is it, John?
It's the price tag on your nightgown. Here.
No wonder my back was hurting.
Holy smokes! $48.50? Is that what this nightgown cost?
Yes, I bought it this morning.
Oh.
What's the matter, John?
Oh, now my back is hurting.
Good night, John.
Oh.
That's our show for tonight, folks. Tune in next time to the Rome Community Theater radio channel when we bring you another episode of The Bickersons. Good night.